All right, everybody. So welcome back. Last session, you had escaped from the Oozing Temple, a hidden and long forgotten tomb buried deep down here in the Underdark, filled with various oozes and symbology that seemed to pay homage to the Lord of Slime, Juiblex himself. But you all were able to escape, along with a new friend, foe, gelatinous thing, whatever you want to call him. You were able to get out with him, and he's been watching your back, kind of keeping the rear guard for you all for a while you made your way ever closer towards Neverlight Grove. Your companion, Stool, being the one who is leading you all towards the grove, assuring you all that it would be a place of rest and respite, some place that you could catch your breath, and some place that the drow would not dare enter. You draw close, and as you continue drawing closer, one of your other companions, Sereth, is beginning to show some concerning behavior. Seemingly addicted to the influence that the spores he was previously infected with were having on him, he's beginning to act erratically. You were able to cure him once again, seemingly that he became infected with the spores once again. The exact methods are unclear, but it does seem that he intentionally reinfected himself some time ago. But having cured him once again, he is beginning to regain some of his senses and beginning to warm to all of you. His previous nature that he had been leaning on so heavily, instilled upon him by his upbringing with the Drow of Menzoberranzan, seeming to weaken, seemingly becoming more and more aware of the fact that the world and life does not have to be everyone for themselves and cutthroat, and that you all might actually care for him a bit. So, with that in mind, that is where we're picking up today. You all just recently began to get closer and closer to the grove, and some of the fungus of the Underdark is beginning to act strangely. Violently, even. Some of these things seeming to grow teeth and mouths and come after you. You just fought off a group of these that were accompanied by an enormous winged creature, an insect, almost like a 8-foot-long mosquito. You were all able to fell this beast and get out of the caverns, and now continue to make your way closer to Neverlight Grove. That is where we are now. So, let me grab this real quick, and we'll get you all in there. Go ahead.
Did we complete the long rest? I think we were resting.
I believe that you all mentioned that you were going to be resting after that fight. So, you are still in the middle of a cavern, still at a rather large crossroads. So if you all are going to go for a long rest, I would definitely recommend finding a safer spot than this.
We woke up from a rest, and then we got into combat.
Exactly.
That we're in now.
Oh, right. And we are just now exiting out of that combat. So, you have just...
Zombies coming or something?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Indeed, you all saw shapes moving in the darkness. Thank you, I forgot about that. Shapes moving in the darkness, shambling towards you all.
Way to go, Cillian. Thanks.
Thanks.
Dude, I'm a murder hobo, okay? I want
memory.
Awesome. Combat.
Well done.
Okay, so these mushroom caps with mouths full of teeth now slain and the bug now lying dead on the ground, you do begin to see shambling figures moving towards you all from down the cavern. How do you all react to this? In fact, Uranus, with your improved dark vision, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check? You'd be able to see these things long before anyone else.
Cool. Perception.
Fight!
Perception.
Nice, okay. So, Uranus, at first, you recognize Drow approaching.
Good.
But after another brief moment of analysis and looking at them, you see strange growths sprouting from them. Strange additions to their anatomy that you're fairly certain is not normal for drow. As they continue to draw closer, you can see that with a 21, you can see that they seem to have fungal growths growing off of them. And while they are walking in your direction, they do not seem to be coming at you. Like, they almost seem to be looking past you all.
They appear to be drow, but they're covered in mushrooms.
Other forms
Friends
accompany
of-
them. You recognize the hulking, hairy form of a couple Quaggoths trailing behind the main group as well. At this point, they're probably about 40 feet away from you all.
Friends of yours, perhaps, still?
Stool kind of waddles up to the top, lets out a cloud of spores near you, says he won't be able to tell until they're within 30 feet.
They don't seem to have noticed us. They seem a bit aimless right now.
Should
How
we
many
wait for
do you
them?
think there are?
How many do I think there are, dear?
There's about a dozen.
About a dozen. Should we hide? Or confront them?
I say we hide, watch, see what they're going to do.
Fortunately, I can't do much.
Maybe they'll just pass on by. Stool will
Right.
be able to tell what's wrong with them.
So at this point, we can say that they are within about 30 feet of you all. And Stool, once again, lets out one of his clouds of spores. And he says, "Oh, servants," he says directly into the minds of anyone close enough to him. "Servants of the grove. Gatherers, probably."
Is that normal, Stool?
He says, "Nothing goes to waste down here."
Oh,
So
Do
what
you mean-
exactly are they gathering?
Well, bodies of anything that might have died down here, anything to feed the patches, rotted fungus, really anything. It's all a compost.
so you mean those drow and the Quaggoth were dead first, and then they became servants?
Right.
Oh, I see. Well, do you think if we just stand here, they'll walk on by? Are they aggressive?
Says, no, they shouldn't attack you unless, you try to hurt them or stop them from doing their job.
Right, good to know.
At this point, they get pretty close to you all. They're within about 10 feet. You all get a decent look at them now. All in various forms of decomposition. None of them look fresh by any means. Each of them, if anybody's proficient in medicine, we might be able to get some more information.
That would
And
be, again, me.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell that the oldest of the bodies seem to have been dead about maybe even as long as a month or two. The freshest ones being maybe 5 or 6 days.
Well, they didn't perish too long ago.
So, do we just keep moving towards the grove then? How far are we from it?
Stool says you're within a day.
Sereth, did you decide what you want to do? Are you going to come with us or stay back?
I think Sereth would be looking very pensive about it, and he sees these spore servants crossing by, and he says, "This would have been me if it weren't for all of you. I think I'll be going with you, if anything else, to make sure that doesn't happen to you."
Thank you.
He kind of looks over when you say that, a bit confused. Like, that might be the first time he's ever heard that word, those two words together like that.
I try to resist my heart breaking.
Sarah seems to be a kindly fellow. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
He kind of looks over towards you and he smiles. It's like, I have never been accused of such a thing in my life. And he kind of laughs a bit. Oh, you all are rubbing off on me.
Let's just say we have a complex relationship with Sereth. But I think he's turning the corner.
He takes a
Sarah.
deep breath and says he's trying.
I think he's well past the corner at this point.
Sarah steps back in case he tries to hug her again. It's not uncomfortable. Okay,
should we-
onto the grove then.
Yeah.
Make haste.
Okay. Alright, so, Stool begins leading you all, and unsurprisingly, he's leading you in the same direction that those shamblers were headed. At one point, though, they go down one tunnel, and Stool says, "That's not the fastest way to the grove. This is. Come on, guys." And he starts waddling down another passageway.
Yeah, I suppose we follow.
Okay, following Stool.
Right, Stool, don't run off.
Yeah, he's starting to get excited. He's starting to waddle very quickly. I mean, even at his fastest, he only moves like 20 feet, so his speed is only 20. So even Stool's, oh my god, his speed's only 10 feet. He moves just as fast as Globagool. I guess he's not slow. I guess you aren't getting slowed down after all. Although Stool can be carried and Globagool can't. But yeah, he waddles hurriedly down, and about an hour later, he says, "We're here," in front of a giant stone wall. He says, "Are you all ready?"
I suppose.
He says, "Okay,
Yes.
now we just need to squeeze in through," and he goes up to a crack about maybe 2.5 inches wide and starts to squeeze himself into it.
Wait, Stool.
Kind of pops his head back out, or like a piece of his head. Yeah? Oh, right, bones! Kind of pops back out. So, you all can't squeeze through that?
We have the mushrooms.
I mean, is this like a crack or like a mouse hole?
It's a crack.
Oh.
It is a crack in the stone. It rises up to the ceiling about 40 feet overhead. At its widest point, it's about 2.5 inches wide.
When we ate those mushrooms, like, did we get that small or not that small?
No, not that small.
Okay.
Yes, unfortunately, I do think our bones might get in the way.
Can I see through to the other side?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. Okay. With a 13, you can't make out much, but you do see light coming from down in there. A purplish bioluminescence. Faint, but visible.
I could get through. Can't quite bring you along, but I myself can.
And how would you be doing that?
As long as I can see my destination, I can sort of disapparate and reappear.
Can you now?
Yes?
Show us then. This should be very interesting.
Well, is there a way for everyone to join me? Because I will not be able to get back. I need to rest a bit more.
And Stool says, I should definitely go with you if you're going. You don't want to show up there without me.
That does
I
not
see.
sound very enticing, by the way.
Is there another way around, Stool?
Says, yeah. It's the passageway that the Shamblers took. You can go follow them. It'll be a little bit longer, but we can get through that way.
Looks like we might have to.
Sorry, forgot about the bones.
That's all
It's
right.
a easier thing to forget.
I forget mine are there too all the time. Understandable.
Globagool kind of looks into his body a bit and tosses out a wrist bone. I didn't realize these would slow me down so much. All right. So, it does take a little while longer for you all to backtrack to where you were before, and then make your way back over towards the crossroads that the other shamblers took, but you're able to find it well enough. And it takes a system of winding and twisting passageways. If Stool wasn't leading you, you could see that it would be almost impossible to just guess the correct route to take as you go through here. So many lefts and rights and downs and ups and various directionals that you all have to take that anyone would be sure to get lost if you weren't being properly guided. But eventually, up ahead, you do all begin to see a faint purple glow. Gresh, it would be the same color that you saw earlier. And Stool would start to bounce back and forth, super excited. Say, we're almost there, we're almost there.
Stool, who do we expect to meet?
Well, there's Matron Basidia, and there's the hunters, and then there's everyone. There's lots of people.
And are they welcoming of guests?
Postbara, he says, oh yeah, as long as you're with me, it'll be fine. And you won't have to stick with me once we get in there either. As long as you arrive with me or other Myconids, then you'll be fine. Welcomed with open arms. The city is super friendly, and then there's Breelup and Breberil, and yeah, all my friends.
Wow. That sounds lovely, Stu.
Says it is.
What did you used to do back in your grove?
Well, I didn't really do anything yet. It was kind of my job to just grow.
Right. And
I hadn't gotten into a circle yet. Says, no, I need to be back at my grove to grow. To get big enough to go to one of the circles.
do you know what you might want to do?
Says, never really thought about it, but being with you all kind of makes me want to be a hunter. I want to go out and protect and make sure that nothing bad gets into the grove.
I think you'd be very good at that still.
And
I think you already protect though.
he lets out a puff of spores, and you just get like this just overwhelming sense of happiness from him.
I'm excited to meet more of your people.
All right.
We can see Sarah's haggling skills in other species.
So Stool would say there's no really need for haggling in Neverlight Grove. Everything is either given freely or has to be earned in some way.
No haggling required. It's perfect for you, Sarah.
Shut it, Uranus.
I'm just looking out for you.
All right, everyone. So as that light grows brighter and brighter, a deep, bright purple bioluminescence filling the cavern in front of you, you suddenly find that you have left the horrors of the Underdark behind. You find yourselves hidden in a hidden, enchanted place, strangely alien, yet serenely beautiful at the same time. The access tunnel that Stools led you through opens above a vast forest of mushrooms, a basin, steep cliffs descending downwards towards a central flattened basin, a enormous pool of water filling at the center of this basin from a waterfall that's falling high overhead. The basin itself is entirely lit with this bioluminescent fungus, making this almost it's almost as if you're outside again. You can't really see the ceiling because it's just covered in this bioluminescence that makes it seem like this purple sky hanging up ahead above you all.
It's beautiful. I've never seen anything like this.
Stool says, "We did it! We made it home!" And he points out down into the basin. He says, "There! Right there! That's the inner circle right there. Basidia will be there." Wait.
He points.
He points in your brain. He would give you the idea. How would Stool point? I mean, I feel like he would kind of nudge his stalk in the general direction that he's trying to aim you towards. But yeah, you all see quite a bit. So the main thing that you get that really comes into view is just this forest of fungal wilds. There's pale cream and beige stalks growing in thick, tall, almost forest-like, almost tree-like. Fungus grows in profusion everywhere here, and it's hard to find anything resembling a path between any of it. But Stool directs your attention towards the center of this basin. And why don't I go ahead and put you all here? This picture is much prettier, but this one gives you a better idea of what you're really looking at. So you all see okay? Everybody see their tokens?
Yep.
Awesome. So what Stool is directing your attention towards is that huge mound right in the center there. And he says, "It's Basidia! I see her! Wait. Who's that with her, though? I don't recognize that one. He's new." She points towards another one of the larger myconids standing down there. Says, "Well, we should really go introduce you all to Basidia."
Is she nice?
Very, very nice. She's amazing.
Do your people have any customs for greetings? Or for the arrival of guests? Should we do something?
She says, "Well, just be courteous. Don't hurt anything." Oh, they are not giants. Stand by.
I wish I'd brought a gift.
Okay. So with Stool at your head, are you all ready to make your way towards the central basin, or do you want to explore anything else first? Stool assures you all that as long as you are with him, then nothing will try to hurt you here. Got it.
Stool, could you just give us a warning if you hear that lady's song or sense any of that red fungus?
He responds in the affirmative and says that there is a strangeness in the air here, but I don't hear the song as strongly as in other places. Definitely not as strong as I heard it coming from Sareth a while ago.
And that other lady, the other mushroom, you said you've never seen?
No. I mean, it's not unheard of to have two sovereigns, but there was only one when I left.
Does she look like a sovereign?
Yeah. It does look like another sovereign.
Would she have come from another grove? Is that...
Well, sometimes sovereigns from other groves will meet up with us in here in Neverlight Grove. They never really stay for very long, but it's not unheard of. Basidia talks about her progenitors and how they had sometimes as many as 3 sovereigns.
Well, we must be careful. I just noticed everywhere that we've gone, there's been issues with... Well, there's been issues, so... I'll keep my ears open and my eyes peeled for odd things that may happen.
Okay. All right. So do you all make your way towards the central basin then?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and put you back here. There's no need for token movement just yet. So I'll put you back here for now. And Stool leads you towards the central basin. So, clomping through the mushrooms, everywhere you step, there's this, obviously, a smell of kind of rot and decay that kind of permeates the area. Almost a sweet smell to it. But as you trudge through, heading towards the central basin, you get past the mud and the mushrooms that spread across the cavern, and enter toward, you kind of pass by this large, clear pool that sits at the center of the grove. And the central mound seems to be the only really dry spot in sight. It seems to be completely kept clear of other mushroom growths and other things like that. It's basically just a stone sphere that kind of sits there. And it rises above the cavern. And back behind it, you see a cliff rising up high up behind it. And yeah, bioluminescent fungi trace strange constellations along the walls. But yeah, you get towards the inner circle, and Stool kind of pops out, Basidia! And a enormous myconid, a massive mushroom person, standing well over 10 feet tall, turns towards you all, and approaches. She lumbers towards you all, and you see her kind of reach out towards Stool, and Stool just hops over to her. You see Sareth kind of take a step forward, as if he's gonna try and, stop Stool, but then he stops himself and looks towards you all. Takes a step back, and Stool jumps up, and Sovereign Basidia lets out a cloud of spores around towards all of you, and says, "You have brought Stool back to us." And then you see the spores that Basidia is letting out kind of begin to intermingle with the spores that Stool has let out. "Stool has told me everything. You all are more than welcome here. Thank you for all that you have done." And then turns towards Sareth, and you see this massive mushroom cap kind of bow in appreciation towards Sareth. Sareth looks confused, like he doesn't know what to do with his hands, kind of nods back. She says, "Stool tells me that you are pursued. You will be safe here. There is no way the drow would dare come here. Not again."
Again.
And
It's honor to meet you, Lady Basidia. And I am grateful that you give us refuge here. My name is Sarah. These are my friends. Grash, Aranas, Cillian. Can you repeat that about drow coming again? Do they try to come here often?
so, as you say that, Basidia, their expressions are so hard to gauge. But Stool, you all still have a telepathic link with Stool, and he says just to you all, she's worried about something. And with that, another one of the massive myconids arrives. And Sovereign Basidia kind of looks towards him and takes a step back and says, "You are safe, friendly softers. You arrive at a wondrous time. For Neverlight Grove is on the verge of something great, something marvelous. We celebrate as the day of joy is nigh." And he begins to sway to something that you all can't really hear.
And what day would that be?
Says, "You all shall see, you all shall see. You ask of the drow. Follow me to the Garden of Welcome, and I would be happy to show you." And as he's saying that, Sovereign Basidia steps. She says, No. There's no need for that, Sovereign Philo. I was just about to offer our new guests a tour of the grove. Philo kind of continues that strange swaying motion. And Stool says directly to all four of your minds, he says, the song, it's coming from him.
Lady Basidia, I think we will take up your offer to tour the grove, if you don't mind.
She says, yes, of course. I would be happy to show you the circles. Stool, some of your friends have grown and taken on roles of their own. You'd be happy to meet them again. And then Philo says, yes, and you may come to the Garden of Welcome after your tour. There is much to see. A marvelous celebration soon to begin. At this point, Sovereign Basidia kind of stands in between Philo and all of you. Shall we begin?
Yes, Lady Basidia. We will follow you.
Okay. Alright. So, Sovereign Basidia kind of begins lumbering away from the central mound. She kind of begins lumbering away from the central mound and says, where shall we begin? It is customary to introduce you to the various circles and to their leaders. Stool, you would be very happy to see some of them again. There's the Circle of Hunters, the Circle of Builders, the Circle of Growers, the Circle of Sporers, and the Circle of Explorers. Do you all have any preference on what you'd like to see first?
Whatever's closest.
Okay. So that would be the Circle of Hunters right here. And alright, so she would lead you towards them, and Stool would be ecstatic as you all approach this particular circle. I'm going to go ahead and put everyone's tokens just right over towards the central mound, and I'll kind of just show you where you're all at in relation to everything. Every now and then you pass by one of these massive Zerkwood mushrooms, and it kind of turns to watch you. It doesn't take much to realize that a lot of these mushrooms are awakened. Kind of sentries, sentinels, if you will. But yeah. She leads you all towards this circle here, this mound here. Sits at the edge of a massive fungal forest. You can see that the ledges that come down into this basin have very steep, almost cliff-like drop-offs, making 3 levels. The central basin level, the second level, and the third level, with increasingly dense mushroom forests growing on each level higher as it goes up. So, Basidia brings you over to here and introduces you to a much smaller myconid, bigger than Stool by every measure, but still rather small compared to Basidia, and introduces this one as Lubamoob, the leader of the Circle of Hunters. Stool recognizes this individual as one of his childhood friends. He was only a couple of years ahead of Stool, and is now leader of the Circle of Hunters. Very proud. Says that, so Basidia, as soon as she introduces you to Lubamoob, she says that Lubamoob is one of mine. Doesn't really elaborate on that, but he kind of bows to Basidia. Says that the Circle of Hunters is in charge of clearing out dangerous beasts that might wander into the grove, and also is responsible for going out and gathering corpses of creatures that have been rotting out in the Underdark in various places and bringing them back here for compost. You see Basidia and Lubamoob exchange spores for a brief moment, and then Basidia turns towards all of you and telepathically says that Lubamoob has informed her that there's some creatures in this place that they're having some trouble dealing with. And Basidia says that Lubamoob says that you all look like some of the most capable softers that he's come across, and asks if you have the time, if you might be able to help him track down some of these creatures.
They're inside your grove?
He nods. He says they are in the wilds on the 3rd level. So Basidia says that there's time for all of that once you've seen yourselves around, gotten a chance to recuperate, and after her tour.
What kind of creatures would they be?
They
wouldn't
he describes the creature to you as a massive insectoid, bipedal insectoid, a hypnotizing gaze.
Oh.
I can make a nature check if you'd like. Anyone that might be proficient in nature.
Not me.
And no longer me.
Right.
Has a creature like this appeared in any religious texts?
I would say no. So if nobody's proficient in nature, we can go ahead and just make a nature check, but the DC will just be higher. Okay, you've never heard of it, Sarah. Sorry.
Oh, I am tempted, but no.
Okay.
It's gonna kill us nonetheless.
Okay.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Hey, you're hiding a +4? Nice.
All right, so Gresh, you do in fact remember reading about a creature that fits the description, a bipedal insectoid with hypnotic properties. You would recognize this beast as an Umber Hulk.
Do I know in reference to like how dangerous this Umber Hulk is?
So, with your 20, I would say that you have a general idea of how dangerous they are. It's certainly within your realms of being able to handle. However, it's very understandable why the Myconids don't want to go up against it. It would be extraordinarily deadly to even a group of Myconids. With a 20...
Is it sapient?
Barely.
How would that... Okay. So it's more like a servant then. It would be more like something you direct towards. Or it's like just a natural beast.
It would be more like a natural beast. More like a hook horror in that regard. Like, it's intelligent enough to be considered sapient, but it is just above being a mindless monster. Just above being like a beast.
Okay.
So why are you having trouble with these things?
Well,
I don't suppose it has 2 heads. Would that be the issue?
He looks towards you, tilts his head to the side. Basidia looks towards you. He would like to know if you're making a joke.
No, I'm actually being quite serious.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
He shakes his head and sends some spores, saying that no, none of the things that he's been experiencing have more than one head.
I will.
Okay, good.
I'll show them images in my head of what we mean.
They say no, nothing like that. They are a bit appalled, a bit frightened by what you've shown them, but they say that nothing like that has happened here. They say that the strangest thing that's been happening here is Philo and his strange obsession with this song he keeps hearing.
Song?
This
Sorry.
And with that, Basidia leads you away to the next circle, the circle of builders. She introduces you to another Myconid, much like the one you just met, introduces him as Gasbide. She says Gasbide is Philo's. And this one, he's standing in the middle of one of the mushroom fields, and he's built this tower, towering up above several of the other mushroom stalks. You can see it stands out distinctly because it looks constructed, right? Everything else here is very natural, very normal looking, very much what you would expect to see in a patch of mushrooms. Like, imagine if you saw like a cluster of mushrooms on the ground and then shrank down to Honey, I Shrunk the Kid side and walked around in it, right? All very random, no rhyme or reason to it. This structure that he's building is very precise. He would, as you all approach, he would say, "Do you see it? I've seen it in my dreams." You see Basidia kind of cock her head to the side, and Stool would tell you all, like, what is dreams? But this Myconid, Gasbide, would go on, saying that he's seen it. Endless towers, palaces to the sky. I will create it here. I will make it among the forest. A palace for her.
For who? But who would you be making the palace?
He doesn't respond. Sareth leans in. The lady.
Ah.
Right.
I figured as much.
And Basidia would say, yes, very good, Gasbide. Thank you for sharing with us. Shall we proceed?
Sure, this is all very interesting.
She'd then take you over towards another mound and introduce you to the circle of growers and their leader, Hepaby. She would say that Hepaby is one of hers, is one of Basidia's. And she would outright say once she sees you all, and once Basidia has shared what's been going on, that she doesn't quite care for Philo's new ideas and this new strangeness, but the song is quite beautiful. Basidia would lead you towards another circle, the circle of spores. And this one, Stool kind of stops short as he approaches, and there is a lot of Myconids surrounding this particular mound, and there are just spores kind of bursting out into the air, and Basidia kind of stops you all a little short and calls out. You can hear the psychic waves kind of going away. She kind of sends her spores out towards them, and Yerbarop is the leader of this circle. And this one approaches in a full swooping and spinning dance as he approaches you all. His arms kind of forming into these boneless kind of rhythmic twistings as he approaches you all. And he stops in front of you and he says into your minds, "We grow the circle. We bring more into the fold. Create new stools. Create new Myconids. Endless. Stool kind of confides in you all, saying that this is very strange. Usually we don't push for more of us. It's all about balance and keeping things equal. It's very strange indeed."
Perhaps your people want to spread.
Stool would agree with you and say that yes, we do want to spread, but never like this. It's always calculated and slow and methodical. This is frantic. as the Myconid continues its strange dance.
I hate to say it, Stool, but I think evil has touched down on your grove. Something's not right. I can feel it.
Stool agrees with you in your mind, and he says, but it doesn't seem like Basidia wants to accept it.
She looks rather uncomfortable to me.
Stool says that he'll ask her about it after the tour.
Now, do we have a telepathic bond between ourselves?
Um,
Does that?
That's a good question. Let me check that. I don't think so. I think it's just between you all and Stool individually. But, I would assume you're talking when you're responding to Stool, so I think there's something there about that. These spores go around corners. Affected creatures can communicate telepathically with one another. So yes, you can communicate with one another.
So Gresh will communicate with Sarah, Uranus, and Cillian. Something's off here. Clearly.
I fear you're right.
But in our current state, we can't do anything about it.
I mean, so far we've only met a few, it appears. That might have been, or made contact with this lady.
So, go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah, I feel like that we should stay and help if we can. Something's in the back of my mind, something about the prophecy. Cillian, do you remember it?
Of course I remember it. Says Cillian. Jake, on the other hand. It's like
Something.
I've got the
colored fungus and goo.
a cave. Would I remember?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I guess Uranus will remember. Yeah. A cave with two faces, rock devoured, and the land overgrown. The pebble believes itself flesh, the earth rejected towards, and the tunnel shaking fury. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. I
I posted it in the chat.
I thought there was something about black ooze, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm getting better with my note taking.
So during all of this, Basidia would continue introducing you to people, to the other Myconids. She introduces you to the Circle of Explorers and says that they are loyal to her. In fact, they're the ones that found Philo wandering around and brought him back here. Said he was in a daze and didn't really come to his senses until he was brought to the Grove. But quickly established himself as another sovereign, getting other Myconids to be loyal to him. Rather quickly, in a very, very quick manner, he did this. And then, after the Circle of Explorers, Basidia would say, and then there's Philo's new circle. He calls this the Circle of Masters. It's in the Garden of Welcome, and I wish not to go there.
Of course, I mean, we are like your guests. We'll go where you allow us.
She says, so that concludes the tour. And so she does conclude the tour, and then she would say that you all are welcome to relax, take in as much as you would like to. And she says that she has something for you. A token of her appreciation for bringing Stool back to her, and back to the Grove. She gives each of you a potion of greater healing. These are all kind of in almost ceramic-looking gourds but they're very clearly made of like a lacquered zirk wood. She presents each of you with one of those, and says that further, if you do find that you have the time to help with the Circle of Hunters, she'd be happy to reward you further. But then she kind of leans in. Stool tells me that you all have a way of helping those who need them. She would say, would you help us here?
Absolutely.
If we can.
She says that she fears Philo has contracted some sort of diseased spore. She thinks the spore's nature might be found in the Garden of Welcome. She can't go there herself lest she become infected with this spore herself, but she asks if you all could investigate the garden, figure out what's happening in there. She also says that the drow that came some days ago, she says that Philo assures her that they left, but they went into the Garden of Welcome and never came back out.
Oh, that's not good news.
Excuse me, but do you happen to have a circle of rest where we could bed for the evening?
She nods and says that we have some accommodations specifically for softers. It's near... it would be on the northern terraces near the Circle of Growers. So right over here, there is... So she would show you that. We'll go ahead and move you all over there right now. But she would show you this little area right over here. And Uranus. A dry alcove that overlooks the pool. There's benches, there's stools, there's things that resemble cots. She says that this place is specifically for when, as she calls them, softers come in and need a place to rest.
It's not the worst name.
And Breelup did not accompany you. So, with that, Basidia would take her leave and head back over towards the central mound. She would have told you all that you have as much time as you need, as much as you want. Her people are not going to be going after the creature on their own. The Circle of Hunters has specifically instructed all of their members to stay away from it, and to just give it a wide berth and only confront it if it tries to get into the central basin, which it has not yet. So now finding yourselves... I mean, alone would be the wrong word. Like, there's no walls around. It's not like you're in a building or a structure. But the myconids that are around you all are kind of walking past. None of them let loose their rapport spores to speak with you. They kind of just go about their day-to-day businesses. And, yeah. You all can take your long rest, or whatever it is you would like to do before you take your long rest. You're more than welcome to go at it.
So there's like comfortable beds, and it's like an area of...
Correct. Designed for the
like...
comfort of non-mushroom people.
So beds and couches and...
Beds, couches, tables.
Nicely lit.
Yep, nicely lit, storage containers around, stuff like that.
Oh, it'd be nice to get off my feet for a bit.
Agreed.
This bed looks very soft. I think it'll be mine. And Sarah will plop down.
It makes a wet squishing sound, but it's not wet or moist at all.
So,
That wasn't
what
me.
bed?
It was the bed. It was the bed, Aranes. It was the bed.
I mean, I believe you totally. I'm sure you protesting so much doesn't mean anything.
Gresh will lightly sniff the air. Did someone fart?
It was the bed.
I give
moist
I give Gresh a pointed look and kind of nod my head towards
Yeah.
Sarah.
Meanwhile, Topsy just like rips one, says that was me, and then plops down onto one of the squishy beds.
Oh, you're so gross. See, it's him. It's never
Yes,
me.
maybe not in the sleeping area, Topsy. I cast where's my
Prestidigitation.
spells gone? I wish. Oh god, I've got nothing. I've got to cast Thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy.
Doesn't do anything.
Right.
I make my eyes glow.
such a big word for such a simple spell.
I mean, I remember it opens windows.
Well,
Does it make things-
apparently you've seen Critical Role.
But it doesn't make
Maybe.
things smell nice, or that's a different smell.
Sound.
no.
It's like it interacts with the physical environment more than prestidigitation does.
I am a
Oh,
cleric. I reach into my bag and I pull out some incense.
Nice.
Scatter
Silly.
some.
Freaking Tori came into my office and pulled out a bunch of computer parts and then left them around my desk and just left. I don't know what the fuck's happened. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Sarah will proceed to take off her boots and put down her shield and sword. Gresh, take a load off. Come, sit.
Yes, sir.
Come, sit. Relax.
Planned on working with Cillian, but I can do that after. How are you?
Oh, happy to be here for a bit. Out of the passages of the Underdark. It always messes with my mind. Have you been down here long?
Comparatively, yes. For some time.
And did you come down willingly?
No. No. I had a master. I read a book, and I did something foolish, and... Well, the Durgar, lucky to find me, didn't kill me straight away.
That is luck.
And who was your master?
Someone that you wouldn't know, and might be long dead, or traveling the astral plane. This was 75 years ago?
Oh. And you weren't supposed to be reading the book, I take it?
I was. I just wasn't supposed to do what was in the book.
What was in the book? And
Teleportation.
she's like, oh,
I needed to use the ruin stone in order to teleport, but instead of going 30 feet into the next room, I went however many miles into this place.
well, that wasn't very smart.
No, it wasn't. And
So
how
is
did you
it-
get here, Sarah?
Oh, well, I was traveling with a caravan. I was supposed to make my way to Neverwinter, and we were attacked and brought down by drow and imprisoned. And that's when I met all this lot here.
Are the roads that dangerous? Neverwinter should be safe. Going from Candlekeep to Neverwinter should be patrolled.
You
So
would
halfway
think
down
so.
the coast, you should be fine.
I don't know what happened. One minute we're just traveling along happily. The next minute, all hell broke loose.
Fascinating. What do you know of
Anyways,
Cillian?
what do I know of Cillian?
He seems to
Uh,
be quite capable in martial combat.
Aye, yes, he's quite good with that bow of his. He's a soldier just like me.
You are both soldiers?
Yes. I think that's
And
why we work so well together.
he has this way about him. I wish to
Is
work
it?
with him later on tonight, to hasten his abilities, to get him used to the feeling, but also let him understand that it will run out.
Oh, sure, he's just over there if you want to go talk to him. He's very friendly.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. And he's very good at tracking things.
What word was that?
Very good at tracking things. You know, footprints and the like.
Tracking.
Tracking.
All right.
Can I see your crystal ball, please?
My what?
I want to see your crystal ball. The
I
thing that you use to, you know, make things happen or unhappen or whatever it is that you do. Magic-y stuff.
I have marbles. Would you like to see those?
Ooh, okay.
But they aren't used for magic.
Oh. Do you not have a crystal ball, Gresh, or are you just being secretive?
No, I don't have a crystal ball. What would I
Tarot
do with such a
cards?
thing?
Well, you look to the future.
That just comes natural. I
Then
think you have a misconception that I look into the future and bend it to my will. That would be unquestionable in terms of being evil. Don't you agree?
yeah, that would be quite powerful to bend the future to your will. I thought maybe you just looked in your ball and you could see things happening.
I anticipate. Sarah, there have been many times when I see your actions and the consequences of them. Not saying that you would fail, just that there could be a different outcome. That is what I reshape.
Aye, I felt it when we were fighting the oozes. Thought for sure I was going to go down, and then all of a sudden, things changed. I thought it was you.
Yes, I do not control all fates, but I can see the errors in all situations. And sometimes I can move a pebble to make your enemy misstep. I could give you just a bit more strength in your legs to make your lunge more powerful. I can make you breathe quicker, see things in a very different light, strike harder. That's why I wanted to speak with Cillian. He might not be used to such a thing.
You see Sarah's eyes kind of widen as you're describing sort of all of these amazing abilities that you have. And kind of like a little kid, her mouth kind of drops open. She's like, wow, this is amazing.
I'm not here to boast, Sarah. I'm just trying to keep everyone at their tip-top shape. Aranis does that very well. Honestly, relieves quite a bit of burden from me and my mind.
Ah, yes, he's very good at that. Him and his god. I feel like she's watching over all of us.
You do not act like a normal drow. He just, sorry, you do not act like a normal Durgar. He does not act like a normal drow. And I have seen and read quite a bit about the human race and how destructive they are.
Breakable.
Cillian seems to be on point.
What happened?
That needs to stay in here. It's breakable. I don't want anything stuck. That's
I
Okay,
think
I
he's a
need
salt
that
of the
anyways.
earth kind of fellow.
Apparently, I got my
I quite like him.
graphics card not a day too soon because
And
this
I
is almost a
respect that
musical.
opinion.
I need to try and change my card out like tonight.
Apologies,
to
Sarah.
have it ready for tomorrow.
If you wish
So-
to continue this conversation, I'm sure we'll have another opportunity. But I really must
I'm gonna
speak
let
to
my other game know that
Oh,
I might
can
be
I
later
keep the
not be able to
marbles
play
then?
if it takes too long.
They're kind of pretty.
No. How about this? We can flip a coin. Heads, you get to keep a single marble. Tails, I take them all back.
I love that coming
Alright.
from a divination wizard.
Yeah, her eyes kind of her
Super
eyes
cool.
narrow, but she's not smart enough to think the thought through, and she'll be like, "Okay, fair enough."
Did I use my portent dice last session?
I believe you
Or
used.
both of them?
I don't think so. Let
No,
me
he
see.
did.
I literally can't. I just added a section on my character sheet for the portent dice.
Oh,
I
did
should've
you?
done
Okay,
that,
cool,
like,
cool,
day
cool.
one.
I don't see portents in your tooltip, which leads me to believe they have been used.
Okay. Then let it be down to fate. Yes?
Sure.
What is it on a d20? It's 11 to
11,
20
11
is...
to 20. Yeah, 1 to 10,
Okay.
11 to 20.
Okay, so 11 to 20 is going to be heads, 1 to 10, tails. All right? And he's going to let it land on the ground.
Okay.
Just a copper coin. Wow. You truly are lucky.
Ooh, I
He
took the
rolls.
marbles.
No, you get a marble out of
Oh.
the marble. He's not giving you all of them.
But you rolled a nat one. I got all the marbles. No, just kidding.
All right. So while this conversation is happening, Sereth is kind of looking around. You see him sharpening one of his daggers, kind of looking suspiciously around at all the different mushrooms. Topsy and Turvy are on top of a very large toadstool. They seem to have somewhere acquired a set of playing cards and are playing a game amongst themselves. Eldeth is sitting out near the pool, kind of looking out over it, kind of just in awe of the mushroom forest. What are Aranis and Cillian up to during this conversation?
Just laying down on my mushroom cot. Not sleeping, but eyes are closed.
Cool.
Resting-ish.
Resting-ish.
I would say at the end of the resting, like this could take like minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. You do
Mhm.
hear Gresh walking towards you. I'm
Okay.
assuming you're alert enough to figure that out. Or somebody walking towards you.
The ground is rather squishy too, so.
Doesn't mean that has to happen right now. It's just he will be approaching.
Totally. And what about you, Aranis?
I would check in with Sarah.
Okay. He'd kind of be sitting down. He says, as you approach, he kind of hears you coming before you get to him. And he says, something's wrong with this place.
Agreed.
Says, near some of them I can hear that droning in my ears. It's almost like the song, but in others it's just gone. As if this place is torn between two minds.
I am sorry that you have to have this burden upon you.
He kind of looks to the east towards the big cliff wall. He says, I need to know what's in that garden. What took my kinsman. He kind of reaches his hand out towards it. Almost feel them over there. And he looks towards you. Same time, I'm absolutely terrified to see what's over there.
I don't know when we might get the chance, but I'm sure if we can prove to Basidia
Mhm.
that we are trustworthy and what she's had from Stall is indeed correct, she might be willing for us to see over there.
He nods. Says, well, just in case. He puts one dagger away, pulls out another, and starts sharpening it.
Ever the pragmatist. I think. But do let me know if that song's getting stronger.
He nods.
I've prayed in it, and I think I might have a better way to shut it up for a while.
He says that he'll be sure to let you know.
I'll leave him. Actually, you know what? I'll leave him my rapier to sharpen. If he's in a sharpening mood.
That he is. All right.
I will cast because. Never mind. I haven't got any spell slots for that.
Nice.
I was gonna cast Crave Food and Water, but never mind. We can starve. I'll leave him to her. I'll go back to Sarah.
Okay. All right.
So,
Yeah.
Fresh is approaching Cillian.
Yep.
Cillian.
He doesn't react for maybe 1 or 2 second pause, laying there on his back, hands folded across his chest. You just hear a as that happens, one eye opens with a smirk.
You have
Yes,
proven
sir.
yourself to be quite capable.
Well, that's just the beginning. You've seen nothing yet.
Right, I was about to say, like, just ignores it. Gresh is too sophisticated for such jibes. Sorry, proceed.
You must prepare yourself for the gifts that I am going to give you. You understand?
Gifts are good.
Did you see the
Reciprocity is
speed with
important.
which... True. And did you see the speed at which Ara so expertly...
Sarah.
Oh god, that's a mix between words.
Ara and
Sarah.
Sauron.
Yup. Sauron.
Sauron.
Alright. Ara. Okay, so Sarah moved around the battlefield. She was hasted by my magics. I believe you might be more in tune with using that.
I did see that. That seemed very cool. No, new to this magic-y stuff, but hell,
Well, this
hit me,
magic
magic
is
man.
different.
Let's see what happens.
This magic is different. You'll feel your chest tighten. Your heart will pound. You'll hear the rhythm, and then it will become void.
Sarah
You
looks
will
up
move
when you say
faster.
hear the rhythm. And goes back to his work.
The speed at which you will move, you won't be used to. As long as I focus, you will become unmatched. In combat, speed, aim, all of it. I need you to be prepared, because it comes at a cost. You'll grow tired, be viciously hungry.
Well, that's good, because if I'm anything, I'm constantly aware, hungry, and tired at the same time. So, let's do this.
My friend, you should rest. If you wish to experience it on the morrow, then we can do so before we leave. But keep in mind that everything, all magic comes at a cost. Sacrifice, personal, spiritual, physical, all of it. I do not wish to put you on any sort of burdened path. If you're willing to accept, then I'm willing to give.
I will absolutely accept. Next time we're in the shit, throw her on me. No better test than a live test.
Sarah was right about you. You are a true soldier. Your humanity shines through in accepting that fact.
We are what
Thank you.
we are. Thank you.
We are indeed. Have a good night's rest.
Good night, Gresh.
And you all can go ahead and take your long rest, and we will take our break. Okay, everybody, so we're back. Now in the strangely peaceful, almost beautiful forest of the Myconids here in Neverlight Grove, you will find yourselves preparing to take hopefully one of your first peaceful rests that you've had in quite some time. But yeah, there's anything that you all would like to do before that, please feel free. Sarah, there was something you wanted to take care of?
So at the same time, at the time that Cillian let one rip across the room, Sarah would start.
I'm proficient in stealth. The only person I heard that was who I wanted to hear it. Okay.
I heard it. Okay, so she heard something from across the room and turns bright red and looks at her eyes. It wasn't me. I think it was Cillian.
Yes, I think you might be right about that.
I really like the incense, Aranis. Is that patchouli I'm smelling?
Why, yes.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I'll waft some of the scent over to you. Get a better whiff.
She'll kind of lean back on one elbow. You know, Aranis, I feel like we're on a very similar journey, you and I.
I can see why you think that.
I have to ask you, do you think I made some sort of difference in Gracklestug? Do you think that they looked upon me and my actions and perhaps saw that there might be a better way?
I think that's hard to answer. I mean, I'm sure you're not the first good dagger. Much like I'm not the first good drow. Even if it might seem like that sometimes to both of us.
Aye, that's true. Well, I'm truly hoping in the little time that we spent there that even one Durga would have looked upon me and what we were able to achieve there and perhaps think to themselves, you know, things aren't always so bad and so dour and sinister. There's a Durga, she made friends with others of not her race, and she was able to do good things, even though it wasn't for her benefit. Even if they were to think that for 10 seconds, I feel like I achieved something there.
I think you're right.
Do you, Aranis? I take your opinion very seriously.
I'm flattered, thank you.
And And
I don't know how many souls you touched, or how many saw your actions. But if only one saw and realized there was another path, a better way, then I think you should be very proud of yourself.
thank you, Aranis. And she'll sort of look down and smile. It's good to be traveling with you, my friend. And
Yes.
with that,
I never did think I would travel with a Durga. My people might not be as prickly, shall we say, as our below ground cousins. But I can't say they had many positive things to say about the Durga. But I'm always joyed to learn new things, and learning that I could trust you was something I was very happy to learn. Something that's definitely enriched my life.
and I you as well, Aranis. I you as well. And with that, she just puts a hand on your arm and gives it a squeeze, and then she'll just roll over on her side and promptly start snoring happily.
I'll leave an incense stick next to you. Didn't you like it? And to disguise any other smells you may make.
Perfect timing. All right, everybody.
It's sudden.
A little bit of blue flame. All right. All right, everybody. So you can all go ahead and take your long rests. Those of you that haven't already.
Oh, shakalaka.
And moving on to the following day. 8 hours passes. As promised, your rest goes by without incident. You all get your first full, fearless rest, at least hopefully, in quite some time now. And upon waking, what would you all like to do?
Basidia mentioned that the hunters could use our assistance.
Yes, there's a few creatures that are causing them some problems.
How would we feel about perhaps assisting them?
I'm not opposed to being the hunter instead of the prey for once.
That's the least we could do. They are letting us stay here.
I agree. I think it's the right thing to do.
Okay, so are you all heading over to the Circle of Hunters then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he informs you, the leader of the Circle of Hunters, a myconid by the name of Lubamoob. He informs you all that there's a few creatures that they could use a hand with. Their main concern is the giant insectoid. However, there is a mound that has somehow gained sentience, a mound of non-fungal vegetation. They don't have any control over it. They can't do anything about it. And it seems resistant to all of their attempts to try and deal with it. So that's another creature that is lurking in the fungal wilds that needs being dealt with. And there is also a Grick Alpha that's trying to start a pack. It's shown up a few times in the fungal wilds. But yeah, they say that if you could deal with any of them, they would be greatly appreciative.
Is it a mound?
A mound. They say it shambles.
Like a moving hill?
More like a moving pile of vegetation. With teeth. Lots and lots of teeth.
That sounds fun. Well,
So
what do you
Lubu
wanna-
Moob would ask if you have a preference or if you just wanted to start hunting.
What's closest?
He says that he doesn't know exactly where any of them are at. The insectoid has been seen most frequently, well, closest to the mound. So on the 3rd level of the fungal wilds, up in this general area, let me ping that for you. Up in this general area is where the insectoid's been seen. The Grick Alpha has been spending his time directly across the way. And then the mound is everywhere. It's impossible for them to pinpoint its location. It moves too quickly for them to track, and it could be anywhere. So, what that would look like for you all is we would need a survival check to track down one of the creatures. If you're looking for any of them, you can just track down whatever and see which one you stumble across first. Or if there's one specifically that you'd like to track down, it would be a little bit more specialized of a check, a little bit more difficult to track specifically, but it could be done.
I rolled my portent dice.
Nice, a 9 and 2. Got it.
Well, Sarah, Cillian, you are our... Oh, and Eldeth, you are our martial experts. Any preference or idea?
I think the one we, at least they know the general vicinity would be easier, but we can just look and see what we come across. Whatever you guys like.
All right, so if you want to just look in the general area that they know that the insectoid creature is in, go ahead and make a survival check. Nice, well done, well done. Okay, so as you're all making your way up there, this is the area that they said that it was in, so we'll go ahead and put you all right up here. Go ahead and situate yourselves in whatever marching order you feel like would be how you're searching. I'm assuming Cillian would be in the front of the column. Stool would not be with you.
Thank God.
Stool's had enough adventure. He's out. He's hanging out with his buds now. Topsy and Turvy are definitely with you. So is
Oh,
Sarah.
I miss him. I would go second line or mid.
Where are we putting the front?
Front would be
Right.
this way. Okay. So, as you are all searching, Cillian, you start to pick up the trail of something. You can see some broken stalks, some broken mushroom sections, some things that have been ripped up from their stalks, and unfortunately, a broken myconid or two. Searching through the area, but you quickly lose the trail, unable to continue tracking the beast. And it is then, you know what, we'll go ahead and get Schrodinger out of danger here too. Put him back with the circle.
Are the myconids dead, or dying?
Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Not nature.
Medicine first. You know what?
I should have cast guidance on myself. Damn it.
So, you know, you're go ahead and make a nature check now.
God.
I was about to say, like, medicine. Nice. Nice. You don't even notice that they were myconids. They just look like more mushrooms to you.
I trail my eye over the ground. I can't distinguish them against the other smaller mushrooms.
But as you kind of lose the trail looking around, Cillian, You do not notice that you have lost the trail because the insectoid creature has climbed one of the nearby stalks. In fact, none of you notice this until you hear some clicking of mandibles from above you. I need perception checks. Actually, no, let's do it passive. What's everyone's passive perception?
17.
15.
Lower.
Okay.
9.
As the chitinous jaws begin to clack above you all, it gets, for its stealth check, a 16. Anybody with under 16 is surprised as the Umber Hulk drops from the ceiling down towards all of you. And we are going to roll initiative.
What if I know its nature because I rolled a 20?
Oof.
Or
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, did I forget to clear the last initiative? I did, damn it.
Oh yeah, damn it. We'll
Okay.
have to just redo that.
No, let's not redo.
Okay, everybody go ahead and re-roll, and we will use your most recent initiative roll. Oh.
It makes little difference.
Oh my god. What the hell? I rolled it again. Jeez.
So Eldeth, Sareth, Topsy, and Turvy are all surprised.
Sareth.
Eldeth? She's pretty.
I don't think she's got a 16.
Hold on. She's a scout.
Her passive is 15. It's good, but it's not that
Yeah.
good.
Oh.
The DC was 16.
You can't see the subtleties in our existence that I can.
Okay.
All my book reading has
All
made
the-
me very aware of my environment.
Awesome. Okay.
So does it land on us or just in front of us?
Near you. It's exactly where it's at, right there. Okay. Uranus.
Ooh, okay. Think. Ooh, that's an idea. Oh, great one. I will.
Oh, I forgot about this. Uranus. It is your turn. However, as the thing drops from above and lands near you, you get a good look at a strange third set of eyes. Tiny little things set into the top of its head. I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
I'm so charismatic. Oh, actually.
Okay, you are unaffected. You may proceed.
I was quite surprised by that.
Confidence, my guy.
Uranus. Uranus will raise his hands and yell out, Alestri marks thee, as he casts Fairy Fire.
Nice.
Each deck save.
Dexterity saving throw result is a
Please fail.
9.
Thank you. So, any creature, I think we all know what it does, but any creature in the air when it says cast is outlined in light. So it sheds 10 foot of dim light. And
Awesome.
all attack rolls against the creature have advantage if the target can see it.
Sounds good, sounds good.
And then I'm pretty sure I have no bonus actions.
Okay. Brings us to the NPCs. And we need to get to know Eldeth a little better. We'll work on that in the coming sessions. What do y'all think? Do you think she would stand her ground against such a huge creature? Would she back up and use her crossbow? What do you think, Sarah?
She would probably. Oh boy.
You know what? I have a guide for this. Let me take a look.
Okay.
We haven't. Yeah, we'll definitely. We fleshed out Sareth. We've got Sareth. We know who he is. I'm working on Topsy and Turvy. They're kind of like the goofballs of the group. We haven't really gotten too deep into Sarah as a person too much yet. So.
Well, has she leveled?
No.
If Eldith gets
Like-
to level, then Sareth gets to level.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe we'll look at that, because I gotta be honest with y'all. You all are doing an exceptional job at keeping these NPCs alive. I was not expecting to make it this far with them. So we'll look into that.
I mean, the way I've been playing her it is more of a ranged.
You have. That is accurate.
Yeah.
So you want to back her up
So,
and let her take some pot shots?
I think she would.
Okay.
She'd
By all
go
means.
down over beside Sarah and take her shots from there.
Okay.
$14? 10 or 14?
Okay.
Oh,
Those do
shoot,
not
actually
hit.
17
17.
because of the fire, fairy fire.
That does not hit. It bounces off of this creature's thick carapace.
Okay. She puts down her bow and shock. That's her turn.
17.
I forgot to share something with you all. Now that we've had so much time to hang out with Eldith, there is this that you all would be aware of. There is now new text with Eldith's character sheet.
Okay.
Oh. Where?
It's in the bio and info section.
The first bit or the second bit?
Hmm?
The first bit or the second bit?
I'm sorry, I'm not.
In her bio.
Oh, in her bio.
The first paragraph or the second paragraph? Is that which one's new?
Both are new.
Oh. High spirited?
Defiant and self-sacrificing. Okay.
Oh god, we're gonna have to try and keep our life harder, aren't we?
Can you read it out? It's very dim. I
Yeah,
can't
I had to turn on. You know what? I can actually fix that here.
I had to turn on.
Is everybody in dark mode?
I was.
Okay.
Then we got dark
What the
mode.
hell? Sorry.
Eldith wants to go home.
Eldith wants to go home. She does.
You
Uh,
changed
she
the
did.
text color?
I accidentally highlighted it in a neon yellow, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's unreadable in both
I know.
modes now.
Okay, do you want me to play her like
Perfect.
this? Then I can.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'll start playing her like that.
Yeah,
A little bit more gutsy.
yeah. I'll do the same for Sareth too. Although we've kind of deviated from Sareth a bit. We're just gonna let Sareth be who he is, because we've definitely gone off book with Sareth. All right.
Hey, I'm not coming from this experience down here without at least one new follower.
Okay. So Eldith does that. What does Sareth do?
Sareth, in typical drow fashion, will stare at the back and fire upon it,
Nice.
like getting hurt. I imagine since he looks at it, he also has to make the save.
What about the save?
Since he's looking at it.
Yes.
Does she-
Eldith has to make the save too. Anyone that starts their turn and is looking at the creature has to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, so is that we're all looking at him?
At the start of your turn. So yes. So Eldith and Sareth both need to make the charisma save.
Uh,
Okay.
Go team drow.
Okay. Go ahead and take your shots with Sareth.
Okay, and advantage, public. Boom.
16 does not hit.
That's all he can do because then he has one attack.
All right, Cillian, see if you can do something with this thing. You do have advantage on your attacks. I need a charisma saving throw from you first.
Yep.
Cillian, as you turn to fire at this creature, you catch those two little beady eyes at the center of its forehead, and you begin to see this swirling pattern begin. The background behind him begins to contort and ripple. You cannot take reactions until the start of your next turn, and I need you to roll a d8. Five. Okay. I need you... So, you find yourself completely enamored by this thing, and then sudden terror grips you. I need you to use your entire movement to move in a random direction, so go ahead and roll a d8. You use your entire movement speed to run this way. All right, good turn. Gresh.
Can he attack?
Unfortunately, no. If you fail against the Umber Hulk's effect, on rolling a 5, creature takes no action but uses all of its movement to move in a random direction.
Alright, so I gotta do a...
Charisma saving throw.
Oh.
Resh, I need you to roll a d8.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Gresh,
It's the best.
you can take no action.
What about the seduce
So
action?
it says on a 1 to 4 the creature does nothing.
Like the player. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. That does bring us to the beast's turn. Okay, it approaches. Uranus, roll a d2. Would you like to be 1 or 2?
I like odd numbers. I'll go with 1.
Okay.
D2.
I was gonna say 2. It was gonna...
How do I roll a D2?
Just /r space 1d2. It's a coin flip. Okay.
Uh-oh.
It attacks Topsy.
Oh no.
He looks up at it. You can see Topsy, you see his features begin to grow more rat-like again, claws growing out as he begins to shift. And the creature descends upon him.
Eats him in one.
Okay.
What's Topsy's AC?
Topsy's
Are they rogues?
AC, they are were-rats.
I don't know what that is.
Alright. A 13, a 12, and a 15. Those are all going to hit Topsy, but he does have resistance. Jesus, okay, so he takes a total of 31 points, but that is halved, down to 15. Sarah, you're up.
He's still up.
He is.
He's got more HP than both
No,
Sarah
he has
and
low HP, but he has resistance.
Right, he has low HP, but he's resistant to non-magical attacks.
Yeah, but 15's more than Sarah's.
I would like to use Sessional if I could save.
Yes, that 19 will save.
Okay. So bonus action, she will cast Shield of Faith on herself. And is he on the ceiling or is he?
He is down on the ground level with you now.
Okay. All right. So she will move.
You have advantage, by the way.
You're concentrating, correct?
I'm very far, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go here. Okay, and she will take out her longsword and try and cut through his chitinous carapace.
Nice. Even with the flank, that will not hit.
Okay, so she will
Isn't that-
strike again. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, saving throw. Saving throw. Sorry.
That
22
hits.
to hit?
There you go.
And she will do 9 slashing, and she will also just add a smite on that as well.
Okay, nice.
So 2. For
Another 9.
9.
Okay. Okay. It shrieks in pain, clicking its mandibles. It whips around to look right at you, Sarah.
Ugh, the eyes! She'll throw her arm up over her face.
Okay. All right. Uranus, its back is to you.
I was about to say, perfect. I will go the...
Did you come here to kill me? Just saw that.
You know what? I will... What are the components for this? Verbal and somatic. Uranus will reach out a hand as he says a prayer of distress, and he places his hand upon the carapace and casts inflict wounds.
Nice.
level
Nice.
So I think I just I don't know. Oh,
19?
I'll cast it.
Are you flanking? You are. 19 hits.
But also it's
Oh, right. Very far.
very hard.
Yep.
It wouldn't let me out. Oh wait, if I click, there we go. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. 24. Great damage.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd use this spell, so I hadn't thought of a less street way to cast it. But yeah, he'll lay his hand on it, say a prayer of distress, and I suppose it squirms under the intense radiance of my goddess.
All right. That is going to bring us to Eldeth, Sereth, Topsy, and Turvy. I'm going to go ahead and do Topsy and Turvy first real quick because I forgot last time. So they are both going to fall back a bit and let loose with their hand crossbows. And miss. Oh, Fairy Fire. Hit. Hit. And hit. All right, good stuff.
Doesn't one get an op attack?
You're right. Topsy would. Claw. Hits. For a 9 slashing. Good.
He seems durable.
Yeah, he's only going to take 4 slashing from that. Okay. And the Umber Hulk takes 14. Okay. Eldeth.
Come on, Sarah. I'm not going to take a backseat to the action. And she'll move. I'm so afraid she's going to die. Okay, so she'll, from behind, stab at him with the short sword. 17 does not hit.
No, it does not.
23?
23 hits.
Obviously.
Hopefully.
8 piercing.
8 piercing. Okay. And Sereth.
Who roll his eyes at the actions of his dwarven companion and whip out his hand crossbow again and fire.
23 hits.
23 hits.
Con saving throw.
5.
Yep. 5 piercing.
Yep. And
Constitution saving throw result is... He falls unconscious.
Oh.
so it failed by more than 5.
He did. He got a nat 1, which is a 4. All right, so it drops.
I think he killed it.
Sarah said, "Stab it!" So what do y'all do?
Let's all surround it and stab at the same time.
Can we do that?
Yeah. You can all hold your actions. It is unconscious until it is either damaged or somebody spends an action to shake it awake.
Rush would like to rush towards him.
It's like a swarming or something.
So does everyone want to use their actions to do that, to just get as close, to get right up on top of it?
I want to. How does everyone else feel?
Yeah.
Okay.
How
Okay.
do the other Myconids look?
What do you mean?
How do the guys to the north? Oh, can they not see us?
Oh yeah, you all are well out of sight of everybody right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All together.
All together now. All right, we will go in initiative order. We'll say that all of you have held actions to stab it in order. So Eldeth, we'll start with Eldeth, Topsy, Turvy, and Sareth.
Oh, does Sarah get another turn?
Yes, everybody will be holding their actions, so everybody will get a go.
5.
Do I not go first?
Sorry, Uranus, I didn't notice you were down there. Yeah, go ahead.
That's all right.
Nice. Okay, and then we have Eldeth's. Eldeth is
5 damage.
okay. So we have 10 damage dealt so far. Go ahead and roll for Sareth. Sareth will hit with his 18
Nice.
for 3 more. Topsy and Turvy with their claws. Or you know what? They'll go with their short swords. Unfortunately, only one of their attacks hits, even with the advantage, for 4 piercing. Cillian?
I'm assuming it's prone, so
It is.
attack would be a disadvantage.
Do you have crossbow expert?
I do, but that doesn't account for prone. That accounts for the 5 feet distance.
But
Uh,
it is also
Unconscious. Yeah, and fairy fired. So we'll say it cancels out and you can do a straight roll.
Screw that. I'll take the advantage and stick it with my rapier.
Nice. 13 does not hit. Bummer.
You know what? Just because I can.
Nope, this doesn't count. This does not count. What I
Is it
roll?
18
18
hits.
hit?
18 hits.
All right, 7 damage.
All right. 7 is literally exactly enough. And then Gresh thwacks it with his quarterstaff ineffectively.
You poke its corpse.
Cillian.
Alien steals another kill.
The goop. Does have spores in it.
What goop?
The goop. The goop of the goop.
The bug goop.
Coming out.
Oh, blood.
Don't know other words to describe it.
Well,
I
well
wouldn't
done,
call
everyone.
myself a spore expert, but I'm not
Do
going
we
to taste it.
do we see anything?
you all
coming out?
can make perception and or investigation checks.
I shall do so with guidance. I'm tempted to
You all
use
do not
that.
see any of the corrupted spores in this beast. It appears to be just that, just a monstrosity that has wandered into the grove.
Rebecca,
Huh?
just gonna get a drink.
Well done, everyone. That was teamwork. Hell yeah.
So, did they say there were others of these around, or just one?
Is there
Just
something about... Sorry.
right. So what they would have told you is that there was only one of these creatures, but there is also the big shambling mound of vegetation and the Grick Alpha that are wandering around in here too.
Are we to get rid of those too?
They're said that they would be grateful with whatever you could get rid of, and you will be rewarded for each one that you destroy.
Okay.
Ooh, maybe we should go back and see her. Her reward may help us kill the next one.
Can Cillian take another kill trophy off of this thing?
Yeah, what do you want to take here?
His mandibles are gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see if I can snap off those little mandibles.
Nice. Okay.
What's it called? Lucre Hulk?
Umber Hulk.
Umber Hulk.
Umber Hulk mandible. Nice.
Actually, you know what? I'll see if I can snap off the mandible.
Topsy and Turvy each take an eye.
Of course they do.
Or that.
That's their snack for later. Actually, wait. Which eye did they take?
They took the little ones, the little black ones.
Damn it. It's gonna make a necklace.
Crash, they're harvesting body parts. Are you interested?
I'm sorry, I cannot create something. Is this thing humanoid?
It's bipedal.
Oh, wait, is it really? Is it humanoid?
No.
Okay, I can't.
It's got a carapace.
Cillian changes his mind and he wants the
It's so it's not.
shitting his shoulder plates off of the guy.
Should we drag this back to the hunters if they want to see it?
It's rather large, isn't it? Topsy, or Turvy, you're not looking so good.
Oh,
He kind of looks down at the gaping slash in his back. He's like, yeah, it kind of hurts a little bit.
I'll walk over and I'll say a few words. A prayer of healing. So I run my hand gently over the wound and I heal him for 8.
Ah, it's cold.
Oh, really? I apologize.
It's okay. Feels much better now.
Good, I'm glad. I might have another spell in me if you'd like.
No, I'm fine. I'll just, hopefully we don't get surprised again. Looks towards Cillian.
Okay,
I'll
so
keep my eyes peeled.
should we go try and find the other creatures that they want us to find?
Well, Basidia?
Basidia.
Sorry. She said she'd reward us for each one, so maybe we should see her before we get the next one.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So returning to Basidia and the Circle of Hunters with your trophy in hand, Basidia would thank you, and she would present you with a moldy scroll. Or, I'm sorry, a moldy scroll case.
I'd look to Gretchen Schrodinger.
What is inside this?
Contains a scroll of protection against fiends.
Fiends. Why do you have this?
She says that she has many scrolls in her collection.
But fiends in particular, are curious.
She says that she's never had a use for it before. Figured it would make a good gift.
It's your useless trinket. Sarah, have you felt the presence of any fiends around here?
I can try and see if I can sense something.
you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so she would use her divine sense.
So you're all at the central mound when you're doing this.
Mhm.
So it's 60 feet.
Uh,
You do not sense the presence of fiends within 60 feet of you.
no, I don't sense anything right now, Gresh.
Basidia would say that she would certainly hope not. That the creatures of the abyss and of the nine hells have never come to Neverlight Grove before. Hence why she feels...
Well, her divine sense actually gives her undead and something else, right?
Celestial
Fiend.
fiend or
Yeah,
undead,
celestial fiend,
60.
undead.
So nothing.
Unless,
No,
unless the
nothing.
bind cover.
Let me see... Yeah, there's not even any spore servants within within 60 feet of the central mound, so no undead either.
Thank you.
Huh?
I thank you for this gift.
I guess we should look for the next one. Or do we want to take a quick lunch break? Or breakfast?
Perhaps we could rid this cave of their intruders.
Yeah, I know. We're not pressed for time. I mean, Topsy's a bit injured.
I can heal him if you want. I'm in the fighting mood. I don't want to start eating now. Makes me drowsy.
Turvy takes a bite of the Ember Hulk.
Oh.
It's like raw crab!
Sarah will spend 10 points of healing.
Okay.
For...
So the Ember Hulk is basically crab?
It's an insect.
Like an aquatic insect.
I mean, no, but like spiders basically function like crabs do. Like I don't know if anyone's ever like kind of gross, but like the inner workings of a tarantula look a lot like crab. And I have read in books that if you were to cook a giant spider, that the consistency of the meat would be much like crab.
Can I look at the Ember Hulk's meat and decide whether or not it might actually be better to be cooked with a little bit of water, salt, whatever spices, fungi they have around?
Go ahead and make a nature check. I mean, it would be edible. You can determine that it would be edible.
Was it Topsy or Turvy?
Turvy ate it.
Turvy, slow down. I think I can make it myself. A delicious meal for you all.
Oh. Okay.
There are spices.
Hands you the mandible.
There's-
Sits.
They must be boiled, of course. But once it's boiled, the meat should be extracted. This pot here can have water and stool. You have leafy greens that have flavor, right? Spices and the like.
Yeah, since you're back at the central mound, then yeah. Stool would say that there are several mushrooms here that softers have been known to enjoy.
If you don't mind, and it's not cannibalism, obviously, can we add them to the pot? I will boil off this meat here. Its legs have quite a lot of meat. It's off-white. Black threads, I assume tendons. But don't worry.
Okay. So are we doing this? Are we doing this now or after the hunt? Because if now, then everybody can take back their healing spells, and we can go ahead and just let Topsy have a short rest.
I would assume it's during the short rest that we wanted to take, right? We debated?
Yeah, we
No?
decided not to.
I think it was decided not to take a short rest.
Okay, Never mind.
Retcon. We will do this when we come back. Okay.
When we come back, there will be excellent
Umber Hulk
spiders.
Umber Hulk Rangoons
stew. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like a delicious meal that we all want to eat.
I mean, I would eat some weird stuff. I think I would try it.
If it's anything like crab, it's like a
yeah,
crab.
Right. I mean, this is literally all coming from some fantasy books that I read about giant spiders and then cooking them and having it be like crab. So I'm just assuming that's true.
I just don't know about eating like spider meat that is bigger than like your hand, for example. Like, say, would you do that? Like, if you had like a box of tarantulas, would you? No. You know what? We're gonna do it when we come back. Episode later. So bad. Oh, it does not sound good.
That does not sound good.
Anyway. Yep. Put the water on the boil. Add some spices. See you guys later.
We'll let it slow cook. Turn
Yep.
the crock pot on while we leave.
Get that meat nice and juicy. That Umber Hulk spider meat. Yep.
Cooked
Okay, confirmed.
in the-
Tarantulas taste like crab.
slow boiling in our marrow skull pot me and Trazen made.
Yep. It's gonna be so good with the mushroom sauce that we're spices. Oh, God. I just like see an image of me picking up like a little mushroom boy and it being like and I just like slice off pieces of its head like a mandolin. You know what I mean? Like you just like thin slices. Anyway. That happened. But we'll be back for that delicious meal later.
Okay. So, proceeding on the hunt. Are you hunting one specifically? There is the Grick Alpha and the Shambling Mound remaining. Is there one you're hunting specifically, or are you just looking for what you run into?
Grick Alpha. Only Ara could defeat this.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, but we're gonna see.
Never heard of a Grick.
On our way back out into the mushroom wilderness, can I ask if one of the Myconid hunters would be willing to help us track? Not necessarily fight it, but just track.
Sure, yeah. Lubamoob would be more than happy to assist you with that. He would take you towards the last seen location of the beast and would assist you in the search. So let me go ahead and take you all over there. You would have crossed through the forests and across all the way up to here. And you did not drag the body with you, presumably. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that.
No. The body was dragged to the feasting point.
To the feasting point. All right, we'll leave it over. We'll leave it over here with Globagool in the softer resting space. Holy shit! Has Globagool been? I'm sorry, Globagool's been on the GM layer this whole time. My bad.
Yeah, pretty sure you're with us in spirit.
Right. Okay. So, Cillian, why don't you go ahead and make a survival check at advantage this time? Right. You're able to track it right up to a little depression in the ground that it has created for itself. It's kind of wrapped up. You can see it feeding on what looks to be maybe a quaggoth or something along those lines. Not much of it is left, but it is in a little depression in the ground, munching away on something.
It's over here. Thank you, Luba Boob.
He nods and corrects you telepathically. Lubamoob.
Luba Moob. Thank you.
He kind of backs away. How do you all proceed?
So it's basically slightly underground?
It's in a ditch, basically. So let's go ahead and roll initiative. All right. So, anyone that attempts to approach it will need to make a stealth check as they do so. What do you do, Sarah?
Wait, is my initiative?
You know what, Gresh, you're right. I did
what
not
the
see you up
hell?
there, Gresh.
Wait, I can't. Oh, that's why. I'm on. Oh, I gotta switch it. 15.4.
All right, Sarah, go ahead.
Yep, there we go.
All right. Sarah, as you approach it, it doesn't seem to notice you sneaking up. Oh, heavy armor. 13? Is that right? Ara, you're muted.
Yes, sneaky
Okay.
in my full plate armor.
All right. So, as Sarah begins to walk up towards it, weapon raised, the clanking as she approaches. Sarah, you get to about here before it turns to face you.
So tiptoe, uh-oh, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
Okay.
all right, guys, it's right ahead of us. So if we're just careful and clank, clank,
I think that's my full movement.
We can
anyway,
assume
so-
you all were close enough to reach it with one round of
Oh.
movement. So let's
Okay.
move everybody up a little closer.
So I'm at the edge of a ditch and it's down below me? Or...
Yes.
Oh.
Just a slight depression. You can reach it.
Oh, I can reach it. Okay, well then she will attack it. 13?
13 is no good.
20?
20 hits. For 13,
For
all right.
13. And would her Shield of Faith be up, or I guess it's been more than 10 minutes?
It has been more than 10 minutes.
Okay, so she will cast Shield of Faith on herself as a bonus action.
Okay.
That's her turn.
Gresh. Oh no, wait, I think we lost the NPCs in the initiative somewhere. So before Gresh goes, let's have Topsy and Turvy take some hand crossbow shots. And miss, hit, for a total of 12 piercing. And what does Eldeth do?
Alda's gonna get right in the fight. Move her 30 feet. And flank over here and hit with her. Short sword.
Okay.
Bergontal Grim! As she strikes out with a 12 and 21.
21 hits.
Wait, is she flanking? She has 22.
Oh.
That is true. Yep. So it's both hit.
7.
Okay. Okay. And finally,
Is the thing in
Seraph.
the pit- Is the thing in the pit considered
What is going on with the initiative? Consider what?
crouched?
No.
So is it my turn?
Yes, it is. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Sereth's turn. Sereth needs to go.
Well, not on my screen.
Dive sticker.
What was that?
I have no idea. It sounded like I have to go.
No, Sarah sticker.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right, go ahead, Gresh.
Okay, since it is not considered crouching, Gresh will look towards Cillian, point towards him. You'll see his heart rate increase. A little bit of sweat begins to bead down his neck as he gives him haste.
Nice. Jeez, haste on the fighter. That's huge.
Yep. And he will go over here.
Okay.
Cillian, you feel the zeal? 1,000 men going through you.
Go ahead, Cillian.
All right. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna move just a lot because I can. And then, hold on, I gotta read this thing. Well, first off, bonus action, Hunter's Mark on the big guy.
Okay.
So to start off, I guess 2 attacks.
Nice.
You have dread ambusher, right?
Ashwa? No, not yet.
No? Okay.
But once I do, this will be even dumber.
Yep. I was just wondering.
15 is no good. Uh, 20 is, but I don't think you have advantage.
No. So,
Okay.
well, we took a short rest, right?
Yes.
All right. Stand by.
Standing by.
No, we did not take a short rest. I think we skipped it.
All right. Does a 17 hit?
17 does not.
What the deuce? And I'm guessing a 16 doesn't.
Unfortunately not.
Oh. Action surge.
Action
More
surge.
attacks.
That
Oh.
hits. Okay, another one.
Plus 11 damage. 3 more damage
Okay.
for distracting strike. Next attack gets advantage. That's not me.
Jeez. Okay, there's the high rolls. Is that another 10? 16. Wow.
And yeah, even I'm lost. I hope you kept track of that.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Lots of damage.
Okay,
And next ally that attacks it has advantage.
nice. Uranus.
Well, if I've got advantage, Uranus will hold out his hand. Actually, for the first time this campaign, he will use guiding bolt.
Nice. At advantage. 26 hits.
Do I have cast?
You would need to state before you roll your attack.
Oh yeah, yeah. It gives me the option when I click the damage button.
Right. You would just need to say it before you see if it hits or not.
Oh, okay.
Right. 12
Um,
radiant. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
And then, oh, why not? I'll come over.
Oh. Okay.
I have a feeling it's gonna have multi attack, and like, may as well divvy up some of the damage.
Okay. That does bring us to its turn. And I'm going to roll the d3 this time. Eldeth is 1, Uranus you're 2, Sarah you're 3. Uranus.
Aranis uses his reaction. He lifts up a hand and uses Wooding Flare.
Okay. So, it first lashes out at Uranus with its tentacles. That is a 25 and a 26.
At disadvantage.
25 and 26. So the disadvantage is 25.
Bloody hell. Okay, yeah, that hits.
Uranus, you take 23 points of slashing damage.
Whew, why did I come over here?
And as it strikes you with its tentacles, it wraps you up in them a bit, exposing a beak at the center of those tentacles, which it then attempts to bite you with.
Don't worry, Aranis. Sereth will come to your rescue.
Uranus, that is a 19 to hit with the beak.
At disadvantage?
Is it still a disadvantage, or is it just the next attack?
Actually. That's a good question.
Alright, sorry, I got a call. What's going on?
Uranus is getting eaten.
No, I'm
By
fine.
what now? By who and the what now?
It says on the attack roll. So yeah, 19 hits.
Okay, so Gresh, what has happened is this Grick Alpha, Uranus stepped up to it, hoping to divvy out its attention a little bit, and succeeded in that regard. And it has latched onto Uranus with its tentacles, which has dealt 23 points of slashing damage to him. It is now preparing to bite him.
Does any of this make an attack roll?
Yes, the tentacles rolled a 25 and a 26. It had disadvantage already.
Okay, so on one of them, I'm going to use my portent dice to make that a 2.
It already happened.
I mean, he stepped away. He wasn't here for it.
I literally had a phone call. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
Somebody called me. They wanted me to go to steakhouse, but I was like, dude,
Gresh, if you'd like, we can just do that on the beak attack that's happening right now, and okay, so let's just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I'm using my portent dice to roll to make that the attack roll.
Okay, so the 19 turns into what?
So the nat roll is a 2 plus whatever.
Okay, so that turns it into a 6. All right, Uranus, the bite that would have done an additional 18 points of piercing to you suddenly reaches back and roars instead of biting down on you.
Okay.
And then it swings its tail at Eldeth with a 15 to hit Eldeth.
Yeah, that hits her.
For 15 points of bludgeoning.
Ooh, okay. She's down to 1 point. Yep.
Oh, jeez.
It hits hard.
Yeah, it hits real hard.
You wanted her to be
Eldeth,
spunky.
Eldeth is not meant to be where she is.
we'll go ahead and level her and Uranus up, or her and Sereth up between this session and next. Get them more on par with you guys.
Gone down.
Okay, that does bring us to the NPCs. Topsy and Turvy will go ahead and get their crossbow shots out of the way. 1 hit. So Sereth, go ahead.
The next attack, guiding bolt. The next attack has advantage, isn't it?
Yep.
Is that guiding bolt?
That is guiding bolt, yeah.
Yeah. Did Topsy and Turvy's attacks hit? Or was it just the next attack, isn't it?
Their next, the next attack would have hit if it was at advantage. So we'll go ahead and roll that damage as well. 6 does not hit.
You said advantage?
Not from Sereth. The guiding bolt would have gone away after the first hit.
Yeah, that's all Sarah's got.
Eldeth?
Eldeth would say, Sarah, you got this fight. And she'll bonus action disengage.
Just regular action disengage.
Oh, sorry. She's not a rogue. Yeah, I was too spunky for my own good. I don't know, she'll go somewhere over here.
Okay. Just away. Okay. And now Sarah.
Okay. Is there anything giving me advantage at this point?
I don't think so.
I lost track. Okay, so then she'll just move around like that. And tentacle stabbing time.
Nice. 24 hits. All right.
6 slashing.
Sarah, how do you take it down?
Okay. Is Aranis still being held? Or
Yes.
did he never get held? Oh, okay. So she'll aim for the tentacle that's holding her friend and slice through it. While she's slicing through to get to the tentacle, she'll swipe the beak off of it.
Damn.
And it
All right.
goes flying into the air.
Awesome. Okay. And with that, the beast is felled.
Was it holding me? Because I didn't make a strength save.
Yeah, it's weird. If it hits you with the tentacles, it can then make a bite attack, which makes it seem like it's got you, but there is no grapple imposed, so it's just flavor.
I immediately go to Eldith.
Okay.
Cillian, do you want a beak? It's on the ground there by your feet.
Oh yeah. Super blur.
Meow. Meow.
You're going to want to take a seat, Cillian. Are you prepared?
By my account, I probably have like 30 more seconds of awesomeness.
You freeze for 6 seconds.
And just because while I see you healing Eldith, I come over in a blur and you just feel a little tappy tap on your shoulder, Aranis, and I'm gonna help you out.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I mean, I think we're gonna. I would hope we take a short rest now.
That's a great idea, Ranis. And I'll stop concentrating on
Haste.
Haste?
haste and kind of like guide Cillian over to like the corner of the cave and like perch him up. You'll be alright. There's a bit of water, some food.
Stop it mid-run.
Yeah, you dropped it as I'm running over there and I just fall flat on my face.
Okay.
Oh god.
I don't know, you wouldn't. Sarah.
Hmm?
Eldeth and Cillian and Aranis need you. Could you help them?
No, we should rest. It's a match. I know you can heal us, Sarah, but I don't want you. We should save her for when we truly need her.
Perhaps you all should listen to her prayers. It might soothe their mind.
You use prayers?
Sarah's.
Do you pray, Sarah?
Well, I can't say that I pray to a specific god. I feel Moradin's presence, but he's got some explaining to do as far as I'm concerned.
Then tell us of your fantastical imaginations.
When I pray, you mean?
When it is, what do you do?
Well, when I pray, I think of things that are dear to me, like hearth and home and family. I wish them well and that Moradin does find it in his heart to bless them. And bless us.
And does this Morden do that?
I feel he does, yes.
Clearly, you're affected by whatever it is you believe in, like Aranis. Cillian, come. It's a bit of broth left.
So you all have made your way back to your campsite and are eating your Umber Hulk stew.
We're taking. I assume we're taking a short rest here because everyone's kind of messed up.
Okay.
It's only an
Yeah.
hour, right?
Yeah,
It's safe enough to walk down to our campsite, isn't it?
it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do this. And you all have made your way down there.
Long rest, short rest.
During your short rest, the Circle of Hunters leader would inform you that they have encountered and destroyed the Shambling Mound.
Ooh. I will use Harness Divine Power and regain a spell slot.
And I will use Arcane Recovery. Same.
Gets
What
me
was
back
that?
a second level.
What was that wormy creature guy called? Something Alpha?
A Grick.
Alpha. Rick Alpha, thank you.
Would you like to bring some back with us, Cillian? We can add it to the stew.
No, I just got the beak. Sarah kind of baseball batted it to me, so just adding it to the collection.
Basidia would also come to you all while you're doing your rest and reward you all with a potion of invulnerability. She said she brewed it herself.
Potion of
Invulnerability.
Okay.
Oh, I probably should have. That's weird.
While Basidia is visiting with you all, she would ask if you intend to visit the Garden of Welcome soon. She grows concerned with the sounds she's hearing from there.
That's. Sarah said he wanted to go there, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Our Umber Hog Chowder is almost done. We'll make our way there once it's done.
Okay.
Can't rush these things.
Alright, so you all can go ahead and take your short rest.
Is there anything like seaweed leeks? I'm assuming it's a marshland
Mm-hmm.
that I can add to
Make a
this.
survival check. Fantastic. Yeah, you can find whatever you think. And if you show any concern to Stool or Basidia, basically they say as long as they're not talking, you're welcome to eat them.
Also, I'll take big stalks of like what I would consider leeks, like peel off the outer leaves, like at like meaty chunks. And
Meaty
and add it.
chunks. Okay.
Yeah, like thick slices and add it to the stew. I would console Stool into adding like spices, like things that would add a lot of flavor, aromatics.
Okay, Stu would help you find some stuff
And
that he says the softers enjoy.
yep. So we're gonna get like a big pot going of that and the Umber Hulks.
Huh?
Umber Hulks?
Umber Hulk.
Yep. So like we're gonna crack open their legs and get the meat out and toss out the legs and just have this big delicious stew of like protein, um, lots and lots of calcium and things like that.
Nice.
Just going in the stew.
Not bad, Crush. It's looking good.
We might not get that many warm meals, and this seems like a rare treasure.
It seems disrespectful or uncouth to eat mushrooms here.
No, Stool said it was okay as long as they didn't speak or move something.
Honestly, there's only a few that are shaved finely.
Mm,
Come, Vex.
it still seems.
Uranus.
Stool standing right next to Uranus, right next to one of the mushrooms that just went into the stool. It just went into the soup that looks a lot like him. He says, "It's fine."
No.
I still have some rations, and I think I'll eat those.
Topsy and Turvy will take Sareth's ration, or we'll take Uranus's ration.
By the way, it does not smell earthy. It smells sweet. It doesn't smell like dirt or like swamp water. It smells like sweet, like crab or lobster.
Nice.
I think I could achieve that with the rolls I made.
I think so.
Come, enjoy. Friends, this might be one of the last hot meals we have. We have a long way to go, and this place doesn't get any less strange.
Topsy and Turvy would agree and say that Blingdenstone is a long way from here.
They get an extra scoop of double meat.
Nice.
Topsy and Turvy. They deserve it. Double meat and then like a slight sprinkle of like broth over it.
Nice. Double meat.
Friends, come. Enjoy. There's nothing wrong with it. Stool even agrees. Stool, would you like to feast?
You're offering him something made from mushroom.
He slaps his face down into a bowl.
Oh, the humanity.
Uranus, you're missing out. And Sarah's like bowl up to mouth. Good
I'm
stuff.
not sure if I'll ever feel comfortable eating mushrooms again after meeting Stool and his people.
Uranus, this is very much not his people. It's provided by his people. You don't want to dishonor him, do you?
I am not dishonoring him. Do you not attempt to manipulate me like that, Gresh?
Of course not. I would never hope to dishonor your perspective. But this meal is grand. Gave of themselves to us.
My morals have served me well in my life. It is not now that I will abandon them.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? And I would like to try and persuade Vex. I keep saying Vex, but like Uranus.
That is entirely up to Uranus if he feels he can be persuaded.
Thing is, it's not like Uranus is like teaching, or should he? Maybe he shouldn't. Like he finds it quite disgusting, the fact that you're consuming the flesh of Stool.
The flesh is tender. I mean, if Uranus, if you feel that there's no chance that you could be persuaded, then there's no need for a roll.
So there's no need for a roll. I would still use a portent dice against him, not in a PvP way, but to see. It's almost like when you see someone's like face get sour because they ate like a lemon or something. You know the answer, as obviously it's sour. Like never. Like I'm not gonna do this. But he knows he won't. But now he knows he won't.
I mean, you're welcome to use a portent dice, but like I said, if there's no roll happening, if Uranus feels that that his character would not be able to be convinced, then there's no roll that's happening.
He's gonna kind of gauge you, Uranus, because he doesn't trust you the most.
I mean, like I said, you can make your persuasion check and swap out one of your own rolls for your portent dice if you want to. But
No, no.
Uranus isn't even going to roll a dice, so there wouldn't really be
No,
anything
he
there to
doesn't.
change.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to.
Okay.
I'm just saying that Uranus is not trusted by Gresh, and he's going to make that clear. I don't care if it doesn't have to have a roll. There's something very suspicious about Gresh. There's something innocent about Sarah. There's something known about Cillian. But Uranus,
You're right. There is something suspicious about Gresh.
or there's something suspicious about Uranus, and Gresh feels it.
So Gresh feels suspicious of Uranus.
Yep, that's it. I don't care.
Would-
There's got to be no roll. He's going to make that very clear.
How veiled are you making this?
Suspicion.
I don't know. Insight of his character, essentially. Not insight, but you're looking at him suspiciously.
He's going to see you not joining in on what everyone else is doing, and he's going to offer you like a crooked smile and look at you. He doesn't distrust you. He doesn't think anything of like malice. He just doesn't understand you on the same level he understands everyone else, or he thinks he does, by the way. It doesn't, there's no guaranteed nature to any of that.
Would my passive insight be enough to pick up on that?
The way I'm hearing it, Gresh is making it pretty obvious. So yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he ignores you.
So he'll turn away and offer Cillian another bowl, offer Sarah a mug, offer Stool just this tiny little portion.
Stool
and
sits in it.
Laugh and chat.
Okay.
We are doing quite well. 2 dangerous beings taken down. It is nice to contribute.
Topsy and Turbo
Yeah.
each hold up an eye.
An eye?
An Umbra
Yeah.
Hulk eye.
Oh. I was like,
Yes.
oh
Do
no.
we all need to make charisma saves now?
Start walking off randomly.
Right.
Congratulations on your trophies, Topsy Turvy.
They say that they almost decided to put it in the stew, but didn't want to mess up Gresh's cooking.
That's very considerate of you.
I'm a bit worried, but what we're going to find in the special garden, I hope. Well, I hope all goes well.
So, that song that keeps coming up, is it coming from the garden?
Stool kind of
Is that
turns
why?
his body in the bowl to look in the direction of the garden, and he kind of makes a gesture that he's picked up from all of you and kind of nods the top part of his stump down.
Well, we might be about to get to the bottom of a mystery that's been plaguing us for a while.
All right. So is there anything else you all would like to do before heading over there? So are we all ready to head to the garden then?
I am?
Okay. So making your way through there, the Myconids part, letting you all pass. They can kind of sense your direction and sense what you're going to go do. The plateau rises up higher than the other terraces, separated by that thick wall of stone and zirkwood, screened by a natural fence of the zirkwood. As you all approach, you begin to hear muffled murmuring coming from the top of this plateau. Going in deeper, the bright atmosphere changes, the bioluminescence dimming to a point where it becomes much more gloomy in here. The air takes on a much different scent as well. Instead of the sweet, almost pleasant smell of the fungal forest below, you get the distinct smell of rotten meat now. The low muttering grows louder as you reach the top. Begins turning into a symphony of moans, cries, and hisses. The only light here comes from a few glowing mushrooms along the edge, but even in the gloom, it becomes impossible to miss the source of the sounds as the light of Neverlight Grove fades away behind you, and you make your way up to this new, far different place.
I cast light on something of Cillian's.
The area illuminates, and you see the heads of creatures. Dozens of humanoids of Underdark races. Drow, gnomes, drow, deep gnomes, Duergar, all different races. Their heads peeking up from the ground. Mold and fungus growing around them. They seem to have been embedded into the earth here, almost like they're growing from the rock itself. One voice calls out loudly to you in Undercommon. A female drow fighting to speak. Please! For the love of your gods! For the love of your light! Kill me! She manages to stir. As you turn towards her, you see that she is one of the priestesses that was accompanying Ilvara. Not one of her direct subordinates, but one of her taggers along. She manages. Go ahead.
I run to her. Can I? Is she? Well, I guess she doesn't sound okay.
She is embedded into the ground. She manages to stir. She's basically half embedded into the ground. She lifts, and you can see the skin separating from her arm as it tears away from the rock. She raises a spider medallion. The medallion itself has half embedded itself into the bloated growth that was once her hand. Half of her face is rotten and pustulate. A bed for the sprouting of scores of tiny mushrooms.
I cast Cure Wounds on her.
It's not good enough. Something far greater is at work here. And as you do that, she screams as you see some of the skin beginning to re-knit and then re-split immediately once it begins to heal again. The Great Cedar. A trap. She's here. She is here. The Lady of Decay. Zigut Moy. As she says the name, the moans of the garden's victims suddenly take on a new tone of fear as the dozens of faces all begin to howl in agony in unison as something moves across the foul ground. We'll pick up here next week.
No, you can't medicine check her because she's going to medicine check you by killing you.
But as that something moves across the ground towards you all, that is where we pick up next week.